Hey, welcome. Welcome back to the stream. I've been looking forward to keeping going with this app development stuff we're doing. Sound off in the chat if you're there. I really like to hear from the people I'm streaming to, so I know what's going on. Today I hope we will be downloading a bunch of RSS feeds and parsing them and putting that data in good places, maybe showing it in LiveView. We'll see how far we get. That's always the question. I do not do everything beforehand on these, so we'll figure out and struggle together. Also today I'm streaming to Twitch as well, so you should be able to pick it up in Twitch if you prefer. Hey Donny. Which at least one person is watching. Maybe that's me. We'll find out if Twitch is a thing for me. But I figured out how to set up OBS so I can stream to both, and it feels nice to be able to make it more available to more people, mostly. Also, people sometimes discover you randomly on Twitch, which does not happen on YouTube with live things. So that could be fun. Yeah, it's also my fantastic new page here. You see, when you need to direct people to both YouTube and Twitch, you start needing those link pages. And I don't use Linktree or whatever. I use a normal, regular-ass website. So, and this is actually kind of useful just because sometimes it's hard to collect just the different things I do. This one is actually quite new, so if you haven't seen it, heard it, tried it, actually I'd be curious to get more feedback on that one. Yeah, Donnie, I imagine you can find a lot of good content on Twitch. I used to watch a decent bit of Twitch, mostly specific creators, but I haven't recently. I just don't have time to sit still and watch anything, really. Kids will do that. But yeah, as per usual, as is traditional at this point, the stream is sponsored by Tigris Data. They are the object storage platform available on fly.io, and we will be using them as we build our thing. So it's a quiet time today. I don't see a lot of people around. Hopefully that picks up. I hope I didn't throw people off when I was testing the stream earlier, and that kind of ruined the original link. I hope people will find their way. I did retitle it, so hopefully people make it. But no reason to delay. I think we can get started. Actually, I already opened this project. Something I actually did that I should have done much earlier in this process was to... It's very nice that it auto-completes things in my incognito tab that are from my real accounts. That's helpful. Not good, but helpful. Well, so it's available on GitHub now. You can just start, get going with it. You'll need to set up your own object storage if you wanna run it to put files in places. But yeah, I realized I hadn't done a Git repo for it yet, so let's. I figured I would do that. Oh. So, is this all the... Am I in the entirely wrong... Am I in the entirely wrong project? Could that be the case? Did I turn some other experimental project I had into This is very silly. Huh. Alright. Gotta fix that. Let's rename a repo. Or like archive it or whatever. I'll take care of the repo later. Now the repo is probably wrong. Let's figure out where I put all of this. Let's see, we should have a def module Tigris in the correct project. Object stream. SQLite objects, that's the one. That's so silly. I will have to push this repo later when I've archived the previous one. But this should be the right project instead of the wrong one. Yes, Podfetcher and podcast. This is familiar. So what we did during the last stream was to make a thing that reads out podcasts, fetches them, and uploads them. And we can take a look. Here. We can see it processing entries. Oh, there's another reason why it might be a little bit quiet today. People are at Elixir Conf, which I am not, unfortunately. It didn't really come together. I had some ideas, but didn't turn out. Okay, so we have this thing. It's pulling podcasts, it's processing them, and so it is doing get offset, blah 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 blah. Yeah. Let's see, what was it doing? So this fetch set stuff is using the Podstream database. So this is the podcast index database, and we're right now we're running it locally because the VFS we were trying to use is very, very slow. So we're reading from a 4 gig SQLite file, and we're pulling 1,000 pods at a time. So that's what we're doing with fetch set. Then we are running through them all and storing the relevant entries, and we're broadcasting that to this thing, kind of crudely, so it's taking 1,000 messages at a time, but it seems to be fine. And after that, we've essentially stored both the podcast data as JSON instead of SQLite rows, and we store the offset, so how far along are we in processing, and that lets this GenServer keep going from where it last left off. Now, the next thing I was looking to do is then take this and do something very similar, which is feed fetcher. Because we want a thing that fetches our RSS feeds. Excuse the cough. Oh, didn't open it. So let's just create a GenServer. This is also going to run as a singleton, so we're doing pretty much the same thing. Opt-outs. For now, I don't care about any options. I recently switched keyboards, or I switched keyboards for the stream. Someone mentioned that the keyboard was very loud, the previous one, and I think I could try my old. So let's see if I can get it into shot. There we go. I feel like a .NET developer, but it's Microsoft Ergonomic. I've used them a ton just because they're split and tented and stuff, which is good for my hands. Take care of that stuff because it's very costly to well, it's really costly to not be able to work, is I guess the thing. Bet the person who complained about the noise isn't even here today. Oh, tough. I'm doing some really fun kind of security-oriented work and nerves-oriented work. I hope I'll hit a period of time where I can actually stream some of that stuff as well. It's not relevant right now, but like I just find that stuff fascinating and super fun, and I think people would enjoy those streams as well. And I don't particularly find myself impeded by streaming when I code, so I hope that's something that could work. Depends on the client of the moment. Some of them would be happy to let me stream, but they have clients that would not. So security is a bit of a field, a special field. What was the wow, Donnie? Was it just the camera control, or was it the keyboard? I'd be surprised if it was the keyboard. It's not a very special keyboard. Let's see, what am I doing? So I have an old repo. Oh, yes, Bartek, thank you. That's very silly. And Donnie was too nice to say anything, I guess. Or he's new here. Yes, this is the screen. But of course, there's a very small crowd here currently, so no one minded. It's like, oh, good grooves, bearded face. I'll let him go. Let him go on. Thank you, Bartek. Did you see my .NET keyboard, by the way, Bartek? I know you care about this stuff. Using .NET compliant keyboard. So I know for Beam bloggers, I used something to pull the RSS feed. Oh, did I fork something? That's interesting. When you don't remember that you forked a thing, Elixir RSS. I mean, this was 4 years ago. Well, is this for parsing or for generating XML? Okay. And it says this branch is ahead of Miss Elixir RSS master, so yeah, I mean, sure, let's use this. What could go wrong? Unless let's actually check hex.pm. Let's see. Someone might have released something really good for RSS recently. It was a very long intro, Bartek. It's like derp derp derp. So fast RSS, I think I used at one point. I would prefer something that's not NIF based, but stream parse RSS and atom formatted XML feeds. That seems cool. Actually, recently updated. This one has been recently updated. Has this one been recently updated? Well, 2022. Poison Sweet XML Timex. Okay. Meant to parse the feed from crypto news. God, I love it. The amount of libraries generated just for crypto. Might be good, so I think I'm not gonna knock that. Yeah, let's try it. Worst case, it crypto mines. Or more likely, it conflicts with some of my existing dependencies, but we'll find out. Emoji web? That's interesting. So, and do we have a, yeah, we have an HTTP client I like. Finch is fine. Finch is great, but Finch is not my most convenient, but Finch is good, solid. Yeah, okay. Because if I'm not mistaken, compiling. Actually, hold on, I think I should be able to. I'm just gonna check something off screen. I set up an alias for this. Yes. Tigris public. And standard. That's a heck of a thing. I think that just means that it's a standard file. You don't need to fetch everything. Oh, am I promised to have one.json? I don't think I am. No. All right. But if we grab one of these just to check how it's shaped. Oh, there. Oh, let's see. Oh dear, I think I've forgotten how to do a pipe on a normal Swedish keyboard. That's fun. Oh, no? Hold on. Ah, I haven't done that in a while. So, I guess I have JQ, yeah. So, let's have a look. These are things included. And this URL is the feed. So that's what we're gonna pull. I like that they have original URL. I guess the current URL is the like if it's changed, I guess. The what? The amazing Jonathan Byrne unit. This is also fun by sampling random podcasts from the internet. You just get random podcasts from the internet, and you don't always get that. It's nice. Or I find it funny at least. So, I wonder how we want to go about finding the ones to pull. Because there is no, like, the S3 API does not provide a way to sort easily. Tigris has some interesting plans, but those are not in play yet. So I could go and say, oh, I want everything in that folder, but I would get 1,000 entries and then I would have to page through the rest. We could do something to build up kind of an index essentially for these things, or we just page. Maybe we just page. Let's see if there's a nice mechanism for paging. Let's object options marker. So that's something we get back when we call. Let's see. Let's do. Actually, we could do something fun with streaming and paging, I guess. Might be a little bit involved, so maybe I should keep it simple for now. Just paged. And I just want to inspect what we get as a return. Cause so pod fetcher, you can chill out for a bit. You've actually already fetched all of them, so I can just disable you for a bit. It's fine if you don't work for a bit. Now, if you have any questions during any point of the stream, do ask them. I like to have conversations. So let's see, this should be located in pod stream /entries/ so then we get body max keys 1000. We get an empty marker, no continuation token or anything. So I'm not sure we can page through. How is it that intended to work? Not the CLI. God. That's not very helpful. Is pagination a separate API part? That would be funny. So S3 is bad at this. That's kind of the deal. And I don't know how the support is on Tigris for pagination, but I would have assumed that it's all right. Is it that I need to pass a marker to get the pagination? Doop-a-doo. Delimiter, prefix, yada yadas. It also takes a marker. Let's try feeding it a marker. Back the marker foo. Alright, I'm not sure if this is actually a limitation of Tigris or of S3. I haven't done paging in S3 before, and there's a reason for that. It sucks to do. Doing an append-only file in S3 is also a pain. Let's see. Well, I guess we could start with these 1,000 entries we can get easily. Start pulling those down. Then we can think about ways to get more. So, Tigris list podstream entries. So then entries. Now I'm gonna steal the timing code over here. So fetching podcast feeds. Actually, the question is, do I want to try to fetch all the 1,000 of them in one kind of go? Probably not, but let's try it anyway. Restore entry, that's nice, but we need a different one. But we can just start out pulling them and then trying to parse them. So let's just IO puts entry URL. Actually, these do need to be decoded as well. So let's do something like that. Gasp from the audience. And for now, just do this. And we add this to our supervision tree. And then we restart the app. And then I made some error. 12 undefined variable state. Yes, that's fair. For now, we do not have any state that we want to keep, so let's just do that. So it's fetching 1,000 items from well, it did fetch 1,000 items. Now it should be just logging these. I'm not sure what this is about yet. Expectation would have been that it would log some stuff. Well, I guess. Oh no, I don't know what I'm guessing. I'm doing something wrong, probably. It's a good beginning guess. Let's see. It's doing this part, then it steps in here, which should just happen. Actually, how many entries do we have? That's important because it will do it 0 times if we don't have any entries. Yep. So I did pull the list out here. Do I don't think I need the bucket name. Pod stream entry. That would do it. Thank you, S3, for that. Explosions. Fair enough. So there's an entry. Owner ID key. Oh, we're getting entries in that shape. That's more than I could possibly want or need. I would say it's very unusual that I want this all. Usually when I'm listing something, I just want the keys. But we can do a list keys because it might be useful to get all that information. So we do list, that's the same prefix. So aside from not being able to write properly due to the keyboard I'm not usually using, I'm pretty comfortable with this. So we should be able to do just dot key. So that would get us the keys of the thing. We should still fetch the actual entry, which is good. Store entry, get offset. I mean, we could write this in here, just save some heartache. Get entries. So list keys, and then let's do a task async stream because that's more fun than not doing one. And for that key we do tigris.get podstream slash. Oh, well, we get the full key, so we don't have to do any of that. I think we can just do that. I don't remember how I named the get, but yeah, that would do it. And as I mentioned, questions are very welcome. I'm trying to keep an eye on the chat. Right now it seems rather quiet. It's always interesting to also to hear how people got here. Like, how did you end up watching the stream, and do you do Elixir at all? I know Bartek doesn't, unless he's changed very recently. No Elixir, just .NET. Strictly. So maybe that, unless the entry has a different shape than I expect, which is fine. It'll blow up and I'll find out. I'll F around. I need to fix a small thing. So here now we should be getting pre-processed entries. So we should actually just be getting URLs like that. List key, yes, that's undefined. List keys is available. Wow. The URL. Yeah, I did inspect entry instead of. It's very silly. Hey Pierre, welcome. Channel Android, Maestro Jamers, Tech Snacks. WW Computer Repair. Floss for Science. Feedpress.me, Edio. That's might be French. "86 episodes, not bad. Kind of active. So we have a bunch of URLs now. We can start fetching. Since I don't remember the Finch API by default, I will just try my way and see what I get, I guess. And it should be, I think it's podstream.finch, right? Could we have a running Finch? Yes, that's what it's called. And let's assume it will get us an OK and a response. Let's just check what we get. Ooh, yeah, we're fetching some URLs, all right. So we get an OK response with a body. That's kind of what I expected. There are also some things about, like, we might be getting redirects and stuff. For now, I think I will skip anything that is kind of out of shape. So if we grab a result like this, just do case result to end. Body. Oh, right, I want it to have been a status 200. You don't have to do it that way, but I'm gonna try it that way and see how we like it. Tiger warn. URL new special response. it's not really even a bad response, because it could just be that they moved the URL or something. Yeah, so I have this fetches. Then we should also be able to just tack on another task async stream, because we're freaky like that. Well, we should be able to do a stream filter in between. So task async stream wraps resulting outputs in OKs if they are okay. So I figure case resolve do. Like if there's anything with a nil, don't want it. Well, we can do okay. Out when not is nil. Out. Then we just pass. Yeah, right, because this is a filter, so it's just true or false, really, that we want. Whether to keep the thing. And now we can just assume that it's going to be an OK. And feed body is what we're going to be assuming that it is. This might not be accurate. We'll find out. Oh, fetch and parse, aren't you fancy? Well, let's just do parse. So case. Elixir, RSS, parse, feed body, do. If it's okay, then we have feed. Then we return the feed. If it's anything else, just return a nil because I don't care. And then yeah, I'm not really sure we're going to do anything with the output here beyond kind of this stuff. So let's inspect the feed, see what kind of shape we get. And just to keep things a little bit more controlled, we can do enum take 2. So right now we're going to process 2 of the 1,000 entries. Is the idea. 33. Well, that's on me. Actually, we can be better. Don't care about the entry, I care about the URL. I think I want to keep the ID as well. So really I should do just keep that data with me through the process. Batch those out. See if that is useful to us.
Tools.
Whoops, I accidentally pressed play on the video. Just checking whether everything seems okay over on the back ends of this stream. So I find out if something's broken. I think we can focus on this and just have this up now. Peace and prosperity and quiet. So let's see how we do with the feeds. Maybe it compiles now. So field expectment element start tag. File name unknown, line 1, column 2. So let's see. Not basic. Reason closed. This seems weirdly out of order. Oh, right. The thing crashed and ran again. So it's fetching these two. And not basic. Is this not basic or is this another one? I guess this is not basic because it's giving me a feed. Huh. When I'm inspecting, would have expected. Okay, yeah. Oh, that's my old inspect. Let's drop that one. I'm confusing myself. Because podcasts is logging something, I think. Or are they? No? So where am I getting this? It's ID, title, URL, content. So this seems like it would be the thing, but it also says that I should be getting entries. Maybe it has a special inspect dealio so that it doesn't output all the entries. So if we inspect the feed.entries, we get something. Or did it blow up? Because this seems like an XML parser blowing up on something. Oh. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on there. I guess we'll find out. So let's restart it and see what it does. What was that about? I don't know. I was doing, like, is there logging inside of this library? Is that it? I don't think this is a good library. I think this might be a bad library. Also, I'm wearing something warm, and it's quite warm today. Live RSS, stream RSS feeds with this GenServer. That sounds like fun. Gluttony, compliant. Ooh, who doesn't like when things are compliant? Okay. So let's see. What does it do? How do you do it? Fetch feed or parse string. Oh, I think that library was kind of bad. Sorry, crypto. I'll try gluttony instead. Another sin. Oh. Okay, so it has a dependency on Phoenix HTML. Let's just hope that it doesn't actually use anything that has changed in Phoenix HTML, and we might be good. I honestly don't care what version of Floki I have because I don't use those tests. Okay, so LiveView wants us to have Floki 36. Gluttony wants 32. And we can absolutely just say it's gotta be 36 or so. The effective override is to say, use the goddamn version I put in my dependencies, not whatever you think you need to have. So you're taking on a little bit of responsibility and assuming that, in this case, Gluttony will be able to deal with Phoenix HTML and Floki at a higher version than it was built for. That's a little bit of an assumption. It could prove very wrong. But it might work fine. It's not unusual that it's just like a version mismatch and doesn't matter. But it could also absolutely blow up on me. Because I think primarily I'm concerned that Phoenix HTML might have changed a decent bit since. Ooh, you can say get a common interface if you like. That seemed interesting. Yes, yes, I get to be very bold when I'm building this way. Okay, so this looks more promising. So here we get a bunch of entries. And if we then what did I call it? Store entry def store feed. To do that for a particular ID. And then we grab the parsed feed. We do data equals JSON.encode on the feed. Tigris. Put, and then it's feed base. So let's do pod stream slash entry feed slash, and then we do path or join feed base id dot JSON, and we show the data in there. So this should let us just save these feeds. Story feed, not what I wanted to call it. Store feed. Where we will absolutely have the problem of paging again. I'm not gonna try to tackle that currently. I'm gonna have to eventually. And just in case they decide this is a struct. Well, let's see. Can I just see what these return? There's no signature, right? Okay, so I get a gluttony feed. So that's a struct, which might not serialize to JSON, so I can do. Is it map from struct? Yeah. Which just removes the structiness. If this runs clean, we can just remove. Did my OBS just have a hiccup? No, not here. Yeah, I think Twitch stream might have fallen over. That's unfortunate. I think it's back. Just got some notifications that things were falling over. It's always interesting. Well, YouTube for now is the better experience because I'm streaming at 1080 there. Alright. Twitch thinks there's something wrong with my stream. I guess I'll keep tuning that later. For now, we'll find out. I guess I'll find out if they think I'm online enough. Okay, now I'm back. Streaming, it's weird. So we want to store the feed. What happened here? Okay. So it wasn't a struct. It was lying to me. Or is that only when I ask for... Yeah, okay. So there are two types of feeds for podcasts. It's Atom and RSS, and they're used interchangeably, but they are different implementations. I think they're both XML though. Let's see what happens if I do it like that. I think it's gonna blow up on this. Like, I think there might be a struct in here. Something timed out in the feed fetcher. Line 18. I don't know why I'm getting timeouts fetching the entries from Tigris. Just poke them about that. So is there any quiet deaths possible here? Log the result there. So if we're having problems fetching those, that would be a problem. Okay, so this one fetched something. So it should be parsing something as well. The channel name on Twitch is Lavikman, Pierre. But you can also just go to underjord.io/links.html, and there's like everything. I just brought up the Twitch again. Like, I haven't had it active in ages. Parsing. Wonder about these. Okay, now we managed to fetch them. I get parsing. Oh, I don't actually log anything, so that might be why I don't really get any information. Oh. I should probably include underjord as a fairly prominent part of the name for that stream or that channel. I had it earlier. So yeah, okay, so type RSS2, all of this stuff. Yeah. The Bob and Kevin show. I wonder if that's still a thing. Like, I'm just gonna end up opening a bunch of random... Oh, the domain is for sale. That's unfortunate. Come on. Bob and Kevin? Really? So let's Let's make it nice. And there are a bunch of entries. So let's see. Bartek, are you still watching? I'm very curious what your kind of idea of what this looks like is, considering you're so dedicated to your .NET craft, but I imagine you've seen a dynamic language before, so it's just upsetting and nothing new under the sun, I imagine, but a little bit curious. Doesn't look like anything to me. I don't even know what I'm referencing, but so let's unlock this sucker. See it go. Actually, I should do this as a single thing, or we will get mixed entries and stuff. Cause concurrency. Let's go. Boom! Explosion. Line 20. So that was there. So task gazing stream has a timeout. I think we can do that. That's always healthy. Never be scared to make infinity your timeout. I want these to continue rather than explode. It's boring when they just blow up. So let's see. More crime. Yeah, so that was the initial fetch. But yeah. I want this to keep rolling. So these are a bunch of feeds that are probably dead. And that one blew up error style. Yeah, and now we're back to failing. So something threw a proper error. It was probably the parsing. So let's see if we can rescue that. Because to us, like a corrupt stream is not worse than like a normal failed parse. I don't want to interrupt our beautiful pipeline for that. I'm doing a weird thing next week. I will be running, or helping run, a programming competition locally over here. So it's not something anyone can join, and it's currently only for students. But we might do a kind of public version. But if that's the case, it's still going to be local, physical. But I'm trying to be engaged in like the local community stuff and make fun things happen for the programmers here. And oh, what are these? That's suspicious. PPM something. I don't know. Weird. Okay, is it done? This is a failed parse feed string. Twitch is being a little bit, let's say, twitchy. Saxy parse error token less than binary yada yada. Yeah, there's some problems in it. Fair enough. I thought I'd limited our feeds to tech. Maybe St. Matthew's Anglican is very technical. Okay. Let's see, I think we're about time to start wrapping up as well, yes. But this is interesting. We're getting a bunch of feed data. So we probably saved a bunch of feeds. So out of the 1,000, let's see, we should be able to just see how many we saved. How many we stored up there. So probably less than 1,000. Didn't seem like it did count or did paging. Come on, 838. If we look at one of these, can MC do cat? It could. Nice. Yeah. GQ. Yeah, so this was the PPM stuff. Practica la telegrafia 15 ppm con la información actualizada de indicativos especiales. Yeah, so that's probably Spanish. And a bunch of episode data. So, I mean, this is interesting. I wonder, should we start indexing this stuff in memory? So when we start the thing, it starts to pull down all the data and build an index. Probably not worth it. Excuse the yawning. I'm apparently a little bit tired. That was not the most interesting one I could have picked to list, but this was ranging from comedic to controversial. Inspection of subjectives. Glimpse of religion. I don't know what this is. I'm afraid to find out. Hosting to Zamina. Oh, seems weird. Clearly. All right. Maybe we try to get some of this progress just into the LiveView. I did say I would poke around with the LiveView, but I'm very keen to actually make this listing better. Because when we have the pod fetcher, and that fetches like 65,000 pods that fit the criteria we've set, which I think is just tech podcasts or tech podcasts that aren't dead. And if we remove the entry offset, those will be refetched. And while we're fetching them, we could build some kind of index. Now, what is a convenient way to write an index on S3? Let's see, we could do a lot with the range requests. That's actually easier than paging through anything. It is hard to upload, or like you can't append it to a file on S3. That's like an annoying thing, unless I've missed something. Yeah. So you could do weird things with multi-part, is what they're saying. As long as you don't need to read the file, you can keep appending. Well, that's kind of neat. But one thing we could do is write on, like, so we fetch pods in batches of 1,000, and we could write a small index thing per batch, which would mean like 65 files, which will not make us over, or like roll over the pager entry. I was thinking about putting like metadata like this in actual Postgres, but that seems like kind of weak, not as fun. So I do want to try to model something using the limitations of object storage, just because it's a sport. So, because right now we have like entry / blah 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 .json, and we have entry offset, which just tracks current offset being processed. And we could essentially make an entry batches / and then just do 0 to 1,000 dot, and that could contain references like this, just so that we can find the IDs. And there would be 1,000 of these each. I try to like this approach. We could also do something where we prefix prefix our keys to get them ordered. That would be kind of interesting. It would be nice to be able to pull these in order, so when we finish processing something, we can. So one reason I store it in object storage is also to be able to resume. But if you want to resume something, you need to know where you were to avoid reprocessing everything to figure out where you were. And that's kind of what the offset does. But if I want to add a piece of functionality that should start from the beginning and then do more. Oh, this camera is getting warm, I think. Yes, very warm. So the camera might just bail soon. I should wrap up the stream as well because we're hitting time. So maybe we think about these indexes a bit further. And for everyone who's not here and just spending time at ElixirConf instead, damn you. I'm gonna have my revenge when I go to Gig City. I do miss meeting the community. Like it's been a bit, and I do enjoy it. All right, I think we should think about how to build up a fun type of index using object storage. Maybe do some research and look at tackling that next time. We have been pulling RSS feeds, we have been parsing them, we have been storing them, we have the information, we have the technology, and I want more than 1,000. So let's wrap this up. Thank you all for watching. Stay curious out there.